here's how I would deduct what I was just told. What is it that I'm doing today that's taking me where my dreams are? And if you're not doing those things today, then when is it that you'll start those things? Does that make sense? What are you repeatedly doing every day in your life now while you're a student that's preparing you for where you want to go? Here's the next one. Accomplishing the impossible starts with seeing the invisible. My brain is kind of wired towards pictures, and because of that, I read like a lot, and I'm constantly taking notes, as Jamie mentioned, underlining things in a book, listening to people speak, writing down cliff notes of what they're saying, and in essence, that's what those quote shirts are. And you guys know this in the world that you live in. Culture has become a big word. If you go to Barnes and Noble and you buy any of those business books, when you walk in, the things that they're talking about the most, you're going to see the word culture. Do you guys agree with that? Yeah. Write this down. Culture, and then write down an equal sign. Culture equals habits. Culture equals habits. So when you hear those authors or those really important CEOs and presidents, they're talking about culture. All culture is habits. So if I followed each of you and shadowed you for a day, what I would be trying to figure out is what's your habits. That would be the purpose, to try to learn something from you, is I would want to know what your habits are. See the unseen. So write this down. Accomplishing, this is what I wrote down when he had that as the screenshot. Accomplishing the impossible starts with, I'm going to start over. Accomplishing the impossible starts with seeing the invisible. So I'm going to go back to the first thing. What seems like repetition is in fact navigation. Accomplishing the impossible starts with seeing the invisible. So it doesn't matter to you, but just in 32 seconds, I'm going to explain how I can tell you about my career. I started as a manager at a junior college, and yesterday my daughter was 17 years old, and it's the first time in the history of Virginia Tech that last night when we got beat, that there was a top 15 matchup at Castle Coliseum since any of you guys have been born. So when you're a manager at a junior college, you're really not thinking, you know, someday when you get old, you're going to have some kids, and on your kid's birthday, you won't see her because you're going to play on national TV, and the team you're going to play, you're going to get beat by. But where you're coaching, they've never done that before. Does that make sense? I'm not saying that when I was your age, I saw that. I'm not saying I saw that. That would be arrogant. I'm not trying to be arrogant at all. What I'm saying, though, is whatever your dreams are, as best as you can, you're trying to see how to get there. Does that make sense? The thing when Jamie shows that play, the kid that flashed, the flash means flash to the ball and catch it. There's the ball, flash, and catch it. When he caught the ball, that kid's name, we call him KJ. He's a junior, his first name is Kerry. When he caught the ball, what did all the players from Duke do when KJ flashed and caught the ball? What did the players from Duke do? Okay, collapse. Tell me some more. Go ahead.
They responded in a predictable manner.
Yeah, they responded. Keep going. They collapsed. They responded in a predictable manner.
And you were able to exploit that mannerism.
Sure. Yeah, we exploited that. What at the moment in time that KJ flashed and caught the ball, what did the 5 players from Duke do at that moment?
They turned their attention.
They turned their attention to what?
The ball.
The ball. Did you guys follow that? Okay, this is is what I'm saying to you. In how I grew up, in what my dreams were, and what I was trying to do. If I did what every player from Duke did, I was going to lose. If I'm looking at the ball and everyone that I'm competing against is looking at the ball, I lose. I lose. My resume says I lose. Do you guys understand? If your habits are the same as everybody like you, all you're doing is looking at the ball. But if you're too talented, good for you. Good for you. I'm not too talented. So relative to how I was going to try to make it per se, I couldn't look at the ball. Does that make sense? So then my habits have to be different, and what I see has to be different. When he put that software on the play and had all the squiggly lines and the highlights, and he said it was confusing, right? It was confusion. Flash, and everybody from Duke goes, damn, there's the ball. And at that moment, we're good, right? Because we negated their talent. Because it was predictable. Because they collapsed. Because then we could exploit. Does that make sense? So all the seen, the unseen is Duke going to look at the ball if we do this? Can we design something so that all 5 players from Duke look at the ball? And then when Duke looks at the ball, now we do what we need to do. Here's the last thing. Outcomes are only lagging measures of your habits. Outcomes are only lagging measures of your habits. So this is your world. And what is your name, sir?
Jake.
Jake? This is Jake's world. Jake, tell me something that's important in your world.
The core.
The core. That's a good answer.
Good answer.
He appreciates that. Okay, now we're going to act like you're Jake, and what's important in your world, other than the core? School. Okay, and now we're going to act like you're Jake, and it's not school, and it's not the core, it's what? Family. All right, tell me one thing, you follow what I'm going. You're Jake.
My morals.
Good, morals. All right, somebody else want to be Jake. Tell me something different.
Relationships.
Good. Tell me something else.
Personal health.
Faith. Personal health.
Integrity.
Integrity. Come on, there's more Jakes.
PT.
What's that mean?
Physical training.
Yeah. Good answer. Keep going.
Career.
Your career.
Sleep.
Say it again.
Sleep.
Sleep.
Hard work.
Hard work. I mean this in the right way. Regardless of what your name is, if you were to do that same exercise, for the most part, categorically speaking, we would kind of all come up with the same thing, right? You guys would agree? You guys all have a lead level character. You guys are all really good students. Stereotypically speaking, you all probably come from really good families, right? Some of you, your parents may have been in the core, right? Some of you guys may have core traditions at Virginia Tech. You may have been seeing this your whole life. Does that make sense? So categorically speaking, regardless of what your name is, we would have a lot of those same things that are important. Does that make sense? And because it's your world, it's really important because it's your world. Here's what I think you ought to do. Somehow, particularly while you're a student, particularly while you're young, I believe it should be no matter how old you are or whether you're a student or not. You should step outside your world as much as you can. You're still going to have high morals. You're still going to PT. You're still going to sleep. You're still going to be a student currently. Your family's still going to be important. Your morals are still important. All of the things in your world are not going to change. But you need to step outside your world. When you step outside your world, you're trying to develop this dot was relationships. You're trying to develop some other relationships. You're trying to read another book. You're trying to get smarter. You're trying to take a trip to somewhere you've never been. You're trying to put yourself in uncomfortable positions outside of your current world. You're trying to go do something somewhere where nobody knows that your name is Jake. And we could give me another example of stepping outside your world. What's one thing you haven't done that you want to do?
Travel international.
Good. So go to Europe. Go by yourself to Europe. Go by yourself to Europe with only carry-on luggage. Figure it out when you get over there. Right? What's one thing you want to do that you haven't done yet?
Play any sport.
Okay, go play. You play lacrosse. Yeah, so go to Blacksburg High School when they have lacrosse practice and go, hey coach, my name is Jake, and I don't even know the rules. Is there any way I could come here for a week and just take notes during practice, and if somebody turns their ankle, I'll help? Does that make sense? That would be Jake kind of stepping outside of his world into the coach's world going, hey man, you're in the core, what are you doing over here? Now here's the key. How can you take the skydiving that you've never done? How can you take the Blacksburg High School lacrosse that you've never done? How can you take this relationship, that relationship, this trip to Europe, this person that you met, this book that you read? How can you take these things outside of your world? And this is where most people can't do this. How can you translate it back to your world? How can you translate it back to your world? Translate it why?
So you can implement it.
That's right. Translate it so you can implement it. And as you implement it, what's going to happen to your world? It's going to expand. So you got to take those things outside of your world, translate it, implement it, and now your world is out here. Because the only way that your world is ever going to be expanded is if you step outside of your world. But if you step outside of your world, it's probably only for a trip to Europe. It's probably only for a week. Where's that Blacksburg High School kid? Play lacrosse. It's probably only for a week. But have you ever done that? No. And it would probably make you feel uncomfortable. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's not your nature. Because it's outside your world. Does that make sense? But that's the only way that your world can expand. And the only way that your world can expand is to take those things outside of your world and learn how to translate. So, I'll give you an example. I read 60, 70 books a year. And when I read a book, I take notes. And then I pay a lady to type up the notes from that book. And then I read the book notes just to make sure that I understood. And then I make questions from those book notes. Hey, I was thinking about this, and this is the question. And then I cold call the author. Hey, my name's Buzz, and I was wondering, how much do you charge for an hour of your time? I don't charge for an hour of my time. I'm off. Okay, well, if you were a lawyer, how much would you charge for an hour of your time? $500. Okay, is there any way that I could go ahead and prepay you $500? I'll FedEx it to you, and then when you get it, will you call me after looking at your calendar and tell me when you have 1 hour of time? What does the offer typically say? What the hell is wrong with you, bud? Do you guys understand? That's on purpose. I do that on purpose, right? Because I want the author to go, why is he wanting to talk to me about the book? You already told me he read the book. Now, I want to learn how you got to what made it to the book. I want to read your notes of what didn't get in the book. Does that make sense? Because if I'm reading the same book you're reading, then I haven't separated myself. But if there's some way I can get a little deeper, if there's some way I can step outside of my world and learn how to translate it to my world, then my world will expand. Does that make sense? How old are you?
I'm 19.
What if you started doing that now? Yeah, so you guys know the rule of 72. If you're 19, that means you're a freshman in college. So do you take a business class? Maybe. The freshman business level class, I'm sure whatever it's called at Virginia Tech, the first thing they'll talk about is the rule of 72. What's the rule of 72?
How long it takes you to double something, Coach?
That's right. Every 7 years, your money doubles. That's the rule, right? Let's say the number was 1,000. Let's say the number was 1,000. He's 19, right? So when he's 26, 1,000 would be what? 2,000, right? So when he's 33, it would be what? It's going to double. So it'd be 4,000. So when he's 40, it would be 8,000. So when he's 47, the number would be 16,000. I'm not quite 47, but my next birthday would be 47, right? 1,000, and it would be 16,000. Everybody understands the rule of 72 now. What if you did that with your habits? What if you did that with your time? What if you did that in how you think? That's the only way that you're going to make it, if that's the right word, right? You can't wait till you're my age to figure out the rule of 72 financially. But if at 19 you know the rule of 72, it's taught relative to money. But what if you did it relative to your habits? Does that make sense? Here's the last thing you can write down. Leadership equals sign. Influence. So the best leaders typically have the best culture. The best leaders typically have the best culture. Doesn't mean they have the best job. Doesn't mean they have the best team. Doesn't mean they have the best talent. Leadership, the best leadership typically has the best culture. So, based on the definition that I've given you, then what is that? Leaders do what? Yes, they influence habits. You guys are leaders, just like Jamie was showing you during the timeout, right? You're a leader within what you do. Can you influence your own habits first, prior to then influencing someone else's habits? Does that make sense? That's what will determine if you have an opportunity to be an elite level leader. If you can't influence yourself, you'll never be able to influence anybody else. And if your habits are not worth following, then you'll never be able to change the habits of an organization. Does that make sense? Are you guys picking up on a theme? What's the theme? It's automatic. So if I was sitting in your shoes, and I wasn't, but if I was, what's automatic in your life? Yeah. And that's exactly right. And what are your habits? And say it again.
Culture.
Your culture. What is your culture? Right? If you are a leader, and you are a leader, depending upon the type of leader that you want to be, what are your habits now? And how in the rule of 72, like you said, with your $600, and she has less, the game, the real game, is not today. The real game is down the line. But where people mess up, when I'm around kids your age, and I know I'm around those kids a lot, I'm not always real nice to those kids. My children, my daughter turned 17 yesterday. My oldest son will turn 16 in a couple of weeks. My youngest son turned 13 last month. And our youngest daughter is 9. And I'm like real mean to my kids at times when it comes to their habits. Not that I want them to do basketball, not that I want them to do the core. I want them to do whatever they want to do, but I want their habits to be a reflection of what it is that they want to do and have the discipline to do it today, in August and September, for the fight in February. When I was 19, this is what I wish someone would have told me. What you're doing now at 19 is preparing yourself for when you're 46. And those habits that you have now, if you're trying to be a leader, those habits will be the basis of your culture. And the only way that you can ever be a leader is if you have influence. You can't be a leader if there's no followers. But you can't have any followers if you don't have the ability to influence. When I met Jamie and I said and did all of the things that you should not do as a coach when he was 21, I did not think that he would be 34 and we would be teaching 180 cadets, right? I wasn't thinking about that. What is it that you can see now without looking at the ball? Everybody looks at the ball. And if you're Duke talented, keep looking at the ball. Everything will work out just fine for you. If you're not Duke talented, that means you're going to have to play for Virginia Tech. And when you play for Virginia Tech, you still have to figure out how to beat Duke. Because the competition level, the platform level, is the exact same. And if your game plan is the same as theirs, you lose. And so that means that how you prepare in August and September, you can't do what Twitter says they're doing. You have to do something different. And really and truly, if you're ever going to get to that point, that means you should start doing it now. And I can't tell you what it is that you're wanting to do, but I can tell you that if you're doing the same thing that everybody in your realm is doing, then it's just gonna be in Jake's world. PT's important, sleep's important, relationships are important. Yeah, to everybody in the world they are. You got to figure out how to get outside of your world, translate it, which most people can, and then somebody said implement it, which very few can. Does that make sense?